Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Psychosin project with me, the one only Psychosin from Total Metal Radio, and I am here with lead vocalist of up-and-coming Southend band, Rough Divide. Welcome to the show.
Good evening.
Now, how did you come to join the band?
They found me in a small sock hidden in a drawer.
What drawer?
I was contacted by Dave, the lead guitarist of Rough
It's always
Divide.
a Dave.
Yeah. A few years back, they were looking for a singer, and they contacted me. And unfortunately, at the time, I couldn't actually take the position. I just had open heart surgery, and the procedure went fine. But when they opened me up, they actually went through the laryngeal nerve, paralysing the left side of my throat. 2.5 years after that, I was able to speak again. I had to relearn how to speak. They contacted me again, asking me if I knew of any other vocalists. Just so happened I'd been training myself up. I said to them I'd audition for them at last, and it basically went from there.
Okay. And what are the influences behind the band?
For me, definitely Five Finger Death Punch. Especially for you, Metallica, because we all know how much he loves Metallica.
No comment.
Definitely a bit of Disturbed influence in there. The bassist Luke, he's interested in like Sixth, and Rush as well. Rush being his favourite band and probably main influence. Yeah, basically the normal ones and the occasional weird one.
The occasional weird one. Right, okay.
Louis, the drummer, I'm not sure what his influences are because no one ever listens to him.
See, I thought you were just going to say because he's a drummer.
That's why. No, he's very much on the same page as me. You know, Metallica, Megadeth, Iron Maiden. There is another one, Lamb of God. I know that Lamb of God are John's influences. John being the guitarist, and Louis as well. So.
Well, while you're obviously saying their names and all that, do you want to say who the members of the band are and what they play?
Yeah, okay. We got Dave, who is David Longman, who is on lead guitar. We've got Johnny Jenkins, who is on rhythm guitar, stroke lead guitar.
And he does like to stroke that lead guitar.
He does like to stroke that lead guitar. We've got Luke Chappell, who is the bassist, and we've got Louis Murphy, who is the drummer. Or at least he claims to be the drummer.
He does his best. He flails his arms.
Yeah.
Hopes for the best.
Yeah.
Now, where did the band's name come from?
Apparently, the band's name came from Final Fantasy. I was nothing to do with naming the band. Obviously, it was named a few years before I joined and everything. Apparently, I'm not a Final Fantasy fan myself, so I wouldn't know. But apparently, it's a certain move which is supposed to be an epic, does lots of damage move.
I think he needs a limit break. Geeks.
I did YouTube this move, and well, I wasn't overly impressed. He just like jumps up and swings his sword a couple of times and like jumps back. As far as I'm aware, I may be wrong. I'm not a Final Fantasy fan.
Indeed. Anyway, oh yes, questions. Always good if you have the questions up. Now, how would you describe the sound of the band?
Interesting. Very interesting. I'd say again, Five Finger Death Punch have got a massive influence. Like, well, we're influenced by them. I'm influenced by them. When I was relearning how to sing, I tried modelling my voice very much around like Moody's voice. I suppose, I mean, we're not the heaviest. Dave, for example, he's got more rock influence, whereas John is more of the heavier side. I'm kind of in the middle of them, but at the same time, I like to do the growliness, the screams, and sound like I'm being attacked by a small child right behind me with a big sword, you know.
Which was the influence between his original vocals.
Yeah.
How is the small child?
I gave him what for, kicked him up the arse and sent him on his way. Yeah, basically, like, well, as I said, same as the influences like Metallica, Five Finger Death Punch, that kind of thing, right? But at the same time, we try and make it our own style. We've got, I wouldn't say that we've got an overly unique style, but we're good at what we do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. You've basically built on and improved a previous kind of style done by bands such as Lamb of God, etc.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, because of me joining the band several years after they started, there's already songs there which I had to learn, but I've tried putting my own little twist to them, rewrote a few of the lyrics, make it more the kind of thing that I would perform. I wanted to make it more mine because I didn't want to be performing someone else's material, if that makes sense. And yeah, one of the influences I had was actually from my previous band, which was Psychosin. In that I did a lot of the deep growls, I did the melodic singing. It was slightly more kind of like thrash power metal than what Rough Divide is. But it worked for us then. It's working for Rough Divide, but the growling has definitely changed due to, obviously, as I said, due to my throat problem and everything. I can't get as deep as I used to growl, so it's a bit more kind of, I suppose, you say death metal-y growls. And then you've got the thrash singing, and then obviously we do softer songs as well, like Coming Home, for example. Coming Home can also be found on iTunes. The only one we've got on there at the moment, but there will be, as we record more, we'll be putting more on there. Coming Home is a softer song. It's more of a rock genre than like a metal genre, and it's nice to have the balance. Like, you know, you can separate your songs with a nice soft one, and then go back to tearing people's souls apart, and then go back to like singing it to sleep, and then finish an album by completely ripping their soul apart.
You've been watching a lot of Hellraiser recently, mate.
A little bit.
Yeah. So basically what you're looking to do with the band is slowly but surely mix all the influences into one whole.
Yeah.
Even if it does take putting those influences into different styles of songs, etc.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're playing a gig at Chinnery's this Saturday.
We are indeed.
Which I can't remember what the date will be, but it's this Saturday. Now, what can people expect from a Rough Divide live show?
Noise, basically, lots of noise. Well, the idea is just come down and have a good time. If people are available, want to come down and see what we're like and everything. We enjoy ourselves on stage. We have a laugh. I guarantee you will find David at the bar. It's his natural habitat.
So the rest of you got to be on stage playing the songs while he's at the bar playing the songs?
Quite possibly. He normally likes to get himself a little bit merry when he's performing, to the point where every gig is his first gig because he can't remember the last one, you know. So but we have fun. We have a laugh. He has a laugh. Basically.
So if you want to find the band, they're the Drunken Louts at the bar. Apparently, yes. Now, have you got any plans in the upcoming future for a UK tour?
We're in talks at the moment, possibly about doing something in Scotland, but around the local area, it's still a bit. You know, we're building up a bit of funding. There is talks in the band about hiring a Winnebago or something, and arranging a couple of weeks of just driving around, playing gigs left, right and centre, wherever we can. Obviously, when we get more information on that, we will notify the public.
Yeah. So we'll be posting that on your Facebook?
It will be posted on Facebook. We'll demand that you mention it on Total Metal Radio. We'll demand that everyone else on Total Metal Radio mentions it. So, yeah.
Demands.
Oh,
yes. Anyway, now you're working on an EP. Have you got a name for it?
Not yet.
And when are you looking to have that out?
We're looking to have an EP done, hopefully by I'd say by about April. I mean, at the moment, there's no real rush for us to record it, because I'm doing all the recording, all the producing, and everything myself. So we're not restricted to times. We're not restricted to money. It's just a matter of when the other members aren't working, when I have free time, we get together, we do a bit of recording, and when it's done, it's done. Basically, yeah. We've got one song recorded, which isn't on iTunes, which you play several times, which is Dance of the Beast. It seems to have gone down pretty well, and I mean, we performed a gig the other day, and there were people I hadn't even seen before mouthing the lyrics, and I'm thinking, well, that's pretty awesome. So yeah, it must be getting out there pretty well. But yeah, the next one that we're working on is a song called Mystery of Misery. It's a nice little ballad for the blokes out there. I think you can guess what it's about.
Hedgehogs.
Once that's recorded, we're looking at doing about another 2, and then we'll have something which we'll be able to put out to the public, and put out at gigs and stuff.
I'll say, were you looking to sell obviously physical copies at the gigs?
Yeah. I mean, the idea that we've got at the moment is we want to get, we're aiming to get 6 songs for an EP. Once we've got the 6 songs, we're then going to record another 6 songs, and then that will be the album. But we'll have 6 that we can put on iTunes, we can put on the other websites like SoundCloud, we can do things on YouTube. Maybe lyric videos and stuff like that, and go from there.
Okay. Now, do you find, obviously you mentioned earlier you were in Cacarodon, and before that you were in Reborn Alpha, if I remember correctly. Do you find that writing songs with this band is an easier or a slightly more difficult process? Because obviously every member of the band has their own personalities on stage as well and brings it into the band. So
it's an interesting concept. I'm looking at you, John. No, it's
not Johnny his band. Anyone called John.
Yeah,
he's just looking at you.
No, it's it is very interesting because I've got my own style of writing music, and obviously being new in the band, I've spent a certain amount of time learning the old songs, and then we've only just recently started writing stuff. So because they're not used to my style of writing, it's a bit weird for them.
Yeah.
I'm involved so much. I like to be involved with the guitar, the drums, the bass, singing. If it comes to it, then I could be involved with keyboards, all sorts of different things like that. And as far as I'm aware, before I was in the band, they were all used to kind of writing their own bits and then merging it together, so that Dave would write a piece, John would write a piece, they'd show each other what they'd written, then they'd decide where to put it in the song. Whereas with me on board, I like to actually be involved with the guitar work, with the bass work, as I said. And it's weird, they're not used to it, but it's fun. What comes out of it, and Dance with the Beast was the first song which I helped write like that, and it came out really well. But with certain things, with any band really, you'll have your riffs and stuff that you like, your riffs that you don't like.
The ones that you just can't quite fit into certain songs.
Yeah, but instead of if there's a riff that's been written, say for example, Dave has written a riff, and it's not liked as such, it won't be forgotten. What we'll tend to do is we'll try and write around that riff, try and make it slightly different, simplify it, complicate it, see what happens. If it doesn't fit for what we're actually aiming to do, then we will kind of take it to the side, finish the song that we're working on, and then we've got a riff ready and waiting for the next song. And because the guys don't write bad stuff. So since I've been with them, every single riff that they've written I've liked, but whether it fits for what we're doing or not is obviously a different matter.
Yeah.
So there's actually a song which they've played to me a couple of times. I think they've only played the intro. It's one of the first songs they ever wrote years ago. Now I really like it, but they've got to try and remember it, and whether they want to use it in the band as it is now is, I'm not too sure. But if they could, that would be good.
So there you go. We might have one of the original Rough Divide songs coming back into the set list. I can't remember the words then. Now, do you have any plans to not just a lyric music video, but to actually film a proper music video, like for, as I've been playing it a lot, and you've mentioned it a few times during this interview, say for Dance with the Beast. Sorry, not Dance for the Beast.
We've got many plans.
Care to elaborate, maybe?
That's it. We've got many plans. No, we're looking at hopefully making a music video soon. I've actually got a friend called Joe Duncan. He is a director. He's done a few music videos.
Yeah.
He can some of his stuff can be found on Facebook if you look for Mangled Media.
Yeah.
Because he does the occasional music video. He does. His passion is like horror, but not horror as in like kind of Bride of Chucky kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And, not weird things. It's very
psychological.
Yeah. I mean, he's got his gore. He's got his like creepiness and everything, but it's like a different take on it. So I use Bride of Chucky as an example because it's a bit kind of, it's trying to be horror, but it's crap.
I think that further word can be.
Yeah. I mean, you think like the original Alien, where you hardly actually get to see the alien at all, but it's a classic, and it still, in this day and age, it terrifies the hell out of people. You get other films like, as much as I love them, the Evil Dead films.
Yeah.
Now, the new Evil Dead seem to be okay, but I just kind of sat there watching it, like, kind of, oh, that was gory. So, yeah, but Joe's got a good way of like directing films and everything, and hopefully we will be using him for a music video soon. I'll be chatting to him soon about different scripts and stuff that we can do.
Yeah.
I've worked with him before as well on 2 projects. One was called The Gardener, which he will have available to be viewed fairly soon. I think it's just in like final editing stages. The other one was actually, I got nominated for the Ice Bucket Challenge. We thought we'd make a funny little video about it, which actually went down quite well. So, seeing as I've worked with him before, I know how he works, he's a good friend of mine. It basically kind of makes sense to use him, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So,
now you have your own YouTube channel, I do believe, a Rough Divide sort of YouTube channel.
We do, but we don't actually run it. That's I'm trying to remember his name now. Steve, someone or other.
Is someone or other his actual last name?
Yeah, quite likely.
Now, well, the reason I bring it up is because I was wondering, obviously, with you recording the EP and doing all live shows and all that, are you looking to start maybe updating the YouTube channel a little bit more with, like, in the studio rehearsals and all that, and giving your fans a sort of a glimpse into the world, the slightly freaky world of Rough Divide?
Yeah. I mean, we do own our own YouTube channel, which, as far as I'm aware, is called Rough Divide TV, I think. But we haven't put anything on it for a long time.
Is there actually anything with yourself on there yet?
I don't think so. Basically, when I joined the band, they decided clean start and everything. Everything barring one video, I think, has been removed from Facebook. The one video that's still up.
Do you mean YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube. It might be found on Facebook. I'm getting old. I can't tell the difference between YouTube and Facebook and a calculator. Yeah, that one video we don't own
Yeah.
I'm not too sure who has it up, but it's still up and about. But that's the only one. Apart from that, everything else has been taken down. We will be putting more things up from within the studio.
Yeah.
One of the problems with it, though, is we rehearsed at Basildon Studios, which, believe it or not, is in Basildon.
Shocking news there, fact fans.
And the thing is, the room is quite small.
Yeah.
So to put a camera in there to record us while we're having a muck about, having a jam and all that, it might distort too much. So we're not going to be putting anything up just yet until we can get like a bulletproof shield for the microphone.
Yeah.
Basically, as soon as we get a bulletproof shield for the microphone for the cameras, then we'll probably start putting more stuff up within the studio. We've been having talks about letting fans kind of get to know us on a bit more of a personal basis through YouTube.
Yeah.
Where we will make videos of ourselves, like general hanging around at pubs, clubs, walking down the street, growling at grannies and stuff like that, you know. The kind of stuff that you do in this heavy metal world, you know.
Growling at grannies, I think we've just found his side project name.
Yeah.
Now, where do the ideas for the lyrics come from?
My head. Basically. I'll sit there and I'll think, what can this song be about? And then I start writing lyrics, and I'll write about 3 verses before I write a chorus, which normally 9 out of 10 times don't make any sense whatsoever. But then I'll pick certain lines which I've written which do make sense, and I'll put them together.
Are they usually the ones written in English?
Yeah, normally.
Yeah.
The band think it's absolutely hilarious because when we're actually writing a song, I'll let them do the music first, and then I normally put words to music. The occasional time I'll think of something while they're writing it, and I'll like suggest, you know, if you do this kind of riff here, then I can say da 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 in a certain way, and it'll give it a nice punch. The majority of the time, though, we'll be in a rehearsal, and I will get the vocal melody done before there's any lyrics.
Yeah.
So the band's playing along, trying to get into the music and everything, and there's me just kind of going wah na 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 wah na na down the microphone, and then when it gets to a growly bit, I'm just kind of going blah 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 blah. They think it's hilarious, but at the same time, it does help because they then get an idea on where the lyrics are going to be, where the melodies are going to be. They can put their input in to say, you know, I don't think they should be singing there, but I do think it should be there, and we can give that a shot with me just kind of like growling down the microphone saying any old cheese. And yeah, we get it all written and recorded. I then kind of tend to record them on my phone, which sounds terrible because it's just a matter of distortion and kicks, and I go with the kicks. I always go with the drums for the vocals, and then I get home, I listen to it on my phone with headphones in, and after a long struggle of trying to figure out what the hell I'm listening to, I come up with a set of lyrics. And I never go into a song with an idea of exactly what it's going to be about.
Yeah.
I will write some lyrics. Once I get to the chorus, I'll have the idea on what the song's actually about. One of our songs, called Word to Fall, it was named before I was in the band.
Yeah.
And it's one of the slower, soft songs. It was named before I was in the band, and all I had was the music. And I thought, okay, because it's already been named, I'll try and write it to fit the title.
Yeah.
Dance of the Beast, because it was a fresh song which hadn't been written, you know, I helped write it and everything. I didn't have a clue what I was going to call it. Even when I got towards the end of writing it, I didn't have a clue because I didn't have the chorus. What I had written for the chorus, in my personal opinion, was worse than a person in preschool could write.
Yeah.
You know, but again, I had a concept. I wanted it to be punchy and aggressive, but
memorable and catchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know what exactly I wanted to call the thing.
Yeah.
Because the line "You Want to Dance with the Beast" was the last one that was actually added to it.
Yeah.
Like the last line I wrote, and then I thought, Dance with the Beast. And we went from there. Sometimes when I'm writing lyrics and everything, I do the whole thing where you title it with something that isn't actually mentioned in the song.
You basically the working titles, and
yeah,
you had first, and then
But
is that why it was called Peanut Butter and Jelly at first?
Quite possibly. Well, a lot of the time when I'm recording stuff, I'll actually name it things like Hank and Bill and Fred, and it goes by that until it's completely done and dusted. Then we can have a conversation in the band, say, what should we call this song?
Yeah.
And
so the song titles are generally sort of a band collaboration.
Yeah.
As to what to call the songs.
I mean, I'll put my opinions out and everything to the band. We normally have a little meeting on Facebook or something. I'll put my opinions out to them. And I'll say, we could call the song this, or this. Have you got any ideas? And some of them may say, okay, we could go with this, and this. And then we just go with whichever one has the... we vote on it, basically.
Yeah.
Whichever one's got the highest vote, then we use that one. And it's basically the easiest way to do it. It saves arguments, it saves complaining and conflict. It means that we're all working as a group. Because I get involved with the guitars and the bass and the drums, I don't want the rest of the band to feel like they can't get involved with the lyrics.
Yeah.
So every time I write a song as well, before the words go to the song, the band get a copy of what I've written, so they're happy with everything that's been said.
Yeah.
And if they're not happy with it, then I will change it accordingly. If I'm happy with it, but one of the members isn't, then I'll listen to their opinion on it and come to some kind of compromise where it's kind of said, it's kind of the same thing, but it's reworded.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Do you want some of that, by the way?
No, I'm good, shit.
Just to remind everyone, this isn't a battle of the bassy voices. I know we've both got quite deep voices. Now, how do you feel being part of what over the years, last few years, has become a burgeoning Southend metal scene with bands like Minerva Falls, Forged in Black, Ocean Decide, Walking Coma, and obviously yourselves? How does it feel to be part of this sort of rising scene down here?
It feels good, in all honesty. We enjoy doing what we do. We've built up like friendships with Minerva Falls and Forged in Black. I know one of the members of Ocean Decide, but I haven't actually had a chance to go and see them perform or meet them on a bit more of a personal basis, but hopefully that will change soon. No, it's nice being in a kind of growing metal scene in this area, because
it's been a bit lacking over the last 15
years. I mean,
we've had our bands, but
a lot of the troubles that some of the bands around this area have, and some of the younger generation of bands, is the fact that they seem to think that they need to be the loudest. They seem to think they need to have the most evil distortion. They seem to think that they need to growl so harsh that it like rips your soul in two. And
it wasn't that bad.
Well, the thing is, you don't need to do that, because music is very passionate, passionate and everything. You want to be heard. If you put your heart and soul into a song, then why have it so people can't actually understand what you're saying? Why have it so people can't hear the difference in the riff, because the guitars are so bloody tinny that it just sounds like someone's screwing up a load of tinfoil. It's pointless. And I've witnessed so many bands doing that, and as I said, you'll go to a gig, and the sound guy will get it all sorted out and everything, all the levels are absolutely perfect, and then if you watch carefully, you've got a young guy that will like sneak up to his amplifier and he'll turn it up because he wants to be heard. He can't hear himself over everyone else. But the thing is, he's not supposed to hear himself over everyone else. He's supposed to hear himself with everyone else. And being able to be in a band where it's not like that, same with Minerva Falls and Forged in Black. Everyone knows what level they have to be.
So basically, it's the old thing of, to be in a band, you need to learn how to compromise.
Yeah.
To work as a unit, essentially.
Work as a unit and make sure that everyone can be heard, everyone knows their parts, and no one competing with each other, because the moment you start competing in a band with other band members, you know full well that band's going south quickly.
Yeah.
You know, several times in rehearsals, because obviously I'm just a vocalist. I don't play an instrument myself in the band. There will be times where I'm sitting around, kind of kicking my feet and everything, wondering, like, should I go and make a cup of tea? Should I go on vacation or something? Because the other members are sitting there with their effects units and with their amplifiers and all that, and they're continuously changing the dials and stuff, trying to make sure that they match each other.
Yeah.
There is no competition on who can be louder. When we're in rehearsals, obviously, it's a bit different than being live on stage, because you don't have the monitors like blasting your face. You don't have headphones in. You normally stick next to your amplifier, so you're going to hear yourself the most, or you may not hear yourself because your amp's faced away from you. You're going to hear everyone else, so you're not going to know what you sound like. I always go slap bang in the middle, and I can say to the other members, you know, you need to turn up, you need to turn down. And I think one of the things I like the most about Rough Divide is I've not really many times had to say, you need to turn down. It's normally, you need to turn up.
Yeah.
And when you say to them, you need to turn up, you know you're doing something, you know the band's doing something right.
Yeah.
Because they're not competing. You know, and it sounds nice, it feels nice, it works.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Now, you mentioned obviously you are basically just the vocalist in the band. Now, I also know you yourself are a guitarist.
Yeah.
Are you looking at some point in the future to maybe bring yourself in as another guitarist for one or two songs with the band?
Probably not, in all honesty. I like to play the guitar.
Yeah.
I like to help write the songs. But at the end of the day, Dave and John are the guitarists, and they were the guitarists before I was in the band and everything. I'm not going to tread on their toes. I joke about it from time to time with them, saying, you know, yeah, I'm going to bring my guitar to rehearsal and stuff like that. And I learn songs by listening to them. So a few of the Rough Divide songs I can play on the guitar.
Yeah.
I've said to them before as well that I wouldn't mind learning certain bits. So, say for example, we've got a rehearsal coming up, and like Dave's taken ill or something,
yeah.
Can't make the rehearsal. We can still rehearse with two guitars because I'll be able to play Dave's bits. But regarding on stage and in the actual songs, I don't see myself actually playing any instruments unless they say, for example, want a bit of piano in one of their songs. Not talking like Guns N' Roses' November Rain, that kind of piano. I'm thinking more like, say for example, an intro which would work well with piano there.
Yeah. Or something that blends in with the riffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you get certain things where in some bands, Metallica for example, with Battery, when they do Battery live, sometimes they miss out the intro, because depending on the crowd reaction, depending on time restraints and everything, they don't need to play the soft part. They can just bang straight into it, keep the adrenaline pumping. And I think if I was going to play an instrument, then it would be one of those kind of intros where it can be taken away for gigs, but on the album it can be heard. So, yeah.
Now, talking of an album, you've set me up perfectly here. I know you're still obviously writing for the EP, but are you also looking to stockpile songs for an album maybe for at the end of this year or next year?
We're aiming on getting an album sorted out by the end of the year. But as I said, there's no real time restraints for us, purely because I'm the one doing the recording. It's not costing us anything. And the fact that there's no time restraints means there's no stress. And
the songs can just flow a lot easier.
Yeah, I mean, the worst thing in the world is to have stress when you're trying to record an album. And sometimes you'll even notice it in the music. You know, you'll think this was rushed. Not mentioning any names here, but Metallica's Saint Anger kind of proves a point there, doesn't it? So
nice avoiding of names there. Yeah. Not that I give a shit about that band, but anyway.
You know.
come at me.
It was disappointing.
I'll get sued by Lars now, you know. Anyway,
it was disappointing for me. I love Metallica, but Saint Anger, it seemed rushed. It just wasn't right. It wasn't Metallica.
It was It was about 4 or 5 year gap, wasn't it, since Reload? If I remember rightly.
I'm not too
so
sure.
They had enough time, essentially, after touring all that to.
Yeah, but I think a lot of it was also to do with their producer they had as well. I'm not mentioning any names there because I don't want to be sued.
And you can't remember his name?
Yeah, Bob Rock.
They did do Lulu after as well, so things did. Well, no, sorry, they've done Death Magnet. They Lulu. Unfortunately, I know a lot about Metallica, but I can't stand them. Worrying, isn't it? Now, obviously, you've been in many bands before, such as Reborn Alpha. You carried on. Can't remember any other bands you were in, but I know you were in others before. That's how memorable obviously were at the time. Now, obviously, this band seems to be obviously hitting a stride and taking to a level in your personal career that really you've never really hit before.
No.
Not for want of trying, really, let's face it. Due to obviously several roadblocks with bands splitting up or just things not working out or whatever. Now, what ideally are you looking to achieve with Rough Divide?
Anything that happens, basically. We're looking at making an album. We're looking at achieving getting gigs, performing gigs, building up a fan base. We do it for the passion of the music.
Yeah.
Now, so many bands will sit there and say, "I'm not in it for the money, but wouldn't it be nice?" And they'll write a song and they're like, "Yeah, we're going to be famous, and I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy that, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy that." And sometimes it works. Sometimes they get famous and they buy this and they buy that, and they buy this and they buy that. And they turn into Macaulay Culkin. I told you I don't name drop, but anyway, no, we're in it for the enjoyment. We're in it for the fun. If we get signed, we get signed. If we don't get signed, we don't get signed. At the end of the day, we know full well that we enjoy doing what we're doing. We've got a fan base around, especially around Southend, that follow us.
Yeah.
We know that we can write stuff that people are going to buy because people have bought coming home from iTunes and I think Amazon as well. As I say, it's new age technology for me. You go to a shop for me and you buy a CD. I'm not quite as old to buy a record or an LP,
But he did suggest putting the EP on cassette.
Yeah, but I do remember cassette tapes. And
8 tracks.
Yeah, 4 tracks. Recording my first song on a 4-track. Not Rough Divide stuff, don't worry about that.
It was when he covered it, the Itsy Bitsy Spider.
Yeah, no, Rough Divide stuff is all recorded on, like by me, on equipment that is worth more than you could possibly imagine. We're talking hundreds of trillions of pounds.
50p down the charity shop.
Yeah, something like that. just some bloke that we found on the street holding a microphone.
I was drunk, okay? Anyway, obviously we'll achieve all that with the band. Now, Total Metal Radio, or to put it another way, myself, for the UK side of Total Metal Radio, are hoping to get you a gig in Camden along with Minerva Falls, Oceans Aside and Forged in Black. Now, obviously I've got no details sorted yet, but is that something you're looking forward to playing if it can get arranged?
Oh, of course. Unfortunately, I've never actually had the experience of playing Camden or playing London as such, but Rough Divide has travelled around to a few different places. We're hoping to secure some festivals as well.
Yeah.
No, I'm quite looking forward to playing Camden. The other guys have played Camden before, as far as I'm aware. And
was that as Rough Divide?
As far as I'm aware, it was as Rough Divide as well. And they're looking forward to going back.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, have you got anything to say to all your fans listening out there, including the ones in America you've been gaining as well?
Learn your lyrics.
Yeah, your lyrics apparently, not his.
Right.
Learn your own lyrics.
My lyrics. I want to see you screaming them and singing them, and who knows, you might do better than me, but if you do, I'll kill you.
Are you looking to get to the USA at some point?
We are looking to get to the USA at some point. Knowing me, I'd probably arrive on a floating door, but at some point we will get to the USA.
Not even going to ask about the floating door comment. Alex of Rough Divine, I want to thank you very much for joining me on the show tonight.
Thank you very much.
And yeah, go check them out on Facebook. They will hopefully be playing in your region of the UK very soon. We'll try and sort out some kind of tour for you under the Talk Metal Radio banner. And yeah, go check them out on Facebook. Go check out their stuff on. It's not on YouTube, is it? It's on.
We got a couple on YouTube, haven't we?
You got some live stuff.
We got some live stuff on YouTube.
But where's the best place for people to buy the recorded studio versions?
iTunes. And as I said, at the moment we've only got one song up on iTunes, but once we get a couple more tracks recorded, then Dance of the Beast should be going up.
I will say that is the one people really want.
The next song, I can't remember if I mentioned what it was actually called, but it will be The Mystery of Misery. Yes, I did mention it.
Yeah, you did.
And then after that, I think it's going to be one of our songs.
There's a revelation. You heard it here first.
It's a song about something.
Does it involve guitars?
This Means War.
There we go. You got there in the end.
Yeah.
Now, just before you go, I know I'll keep holding you back with more and more questions, but obviously the stuff is very, very heavy. But are you open to considering maybe doing like one-off shows every now and again, or maybe recording in the studio of maybe acoustic versions?
We are looking at doing acoustic songs. We're actually looking at possibly recording an acoustic album.
Yeah.
What that'll be is once we've got enough soft songs, like for example Coming Home and Worth the Fall, we're going to be doing 2 versions of them.
Yeah.
We'll be doing the album version, and then we're going to be doing like a little album version completely on acoustic guitars. We may even get Louis on the bongos. But
you can't beat bongos in metal.
Yeah. But yeah, we are looking at doing some acoustic tracks and stuff, because all of us like the idea of open mic nights as well.
Yeah.
Just for a laugh.
Yeah.
And you can't really go down to an open mic night and set your guitar up and set your drum kit up and your bass and everything, and then scream like bloody crazy. You know, they're
be interesting.
Well, I've done it once before, and it was absolutely hilarious.
Was that because you stubbed your toe on the way to the stage?
Well, not only that, but we were very loud in a very small place. And we had a full-blown drum kit and distortion. And
this wasn't when you were playing... No, it's gone. It's gone. Pink Toothbrush is what I was thinking of.
No, when we were playing Pink Toothbrush, this was back in Kakaradin's days. We played that place I can't remember.
The toilets outside Chameleon.
Oh, quite possibly. We did get drunk.
Not the Purple Turtle, was it?
No, the place in Rochford next to the station.
Oh,
the place.
Yeah, the place.
They hold the Rochford Beer Festival.
Yeah, I know it. But that place, because most of the people watching this probably don't know Rochford or where the hell we're talking about.
Okay,
but anyway,
if you don't know Rochford, check it out. You can find it on Google Maps.
Again, Alex, I want to thank you for joining me on the show. I want to thank you for watching as well. It's an absolute pleasure, sir. Keep an eye out for them. They will be on tour, hopefully soon. And if you get down on Saturday night, which will be... Will it be the 1st?
The 31st.
The 31st
if
of
there's
February.
31 days in...
January.
31st of February?
I said January.
You said February?
I said January.
Well, I heard February.
This is turning into some kind of bloody comedy routine. I've gone... Lord Hardy was what I meant to say, but it went out. Anyway, this interview's been going on for about 40 minutes, so yes! Thank you for watching. I will be back soon with another interview and another review soon. We may get Alex back, maybe not for an interview, but some kind of discussion about the future of unsigned bands and that, seeing as he's kind of obviously in one at the moment, which would help. Yeah. And if you'd like to see more of Alex on my show, let me know in the comments. I don't blame you if you don't, because that beard is pretty stupid. But no, yeah, let me know, and I'll see you all soon.
I'm gonna make you scream.